In this lesson, we're going to look at the formula for the area of a sector.
Okay, hi everybody. So in this video here, we're going to take a look at the area of a sector, and this is going to be really quick. Okay, it's a fairly simple idea. So let's just jump into it here. First of all, a sector of a circle is the region that's outlined by two radii, and then the arc length. Okay, and that arc that subtends that central angle theta. So it's a piece of pizza. Okay, it's a slice of cake there from above. So it's that area right there. Starts at the center, out to the circle there, and then to the piece that connects it here. So the pieces that are important here are going to be the length of the radius, okay, the arc length, and the theta there. And for what we're doing here, we're going to measure the angle in radians. Now, the reason why we want to do that is because we're lazy and it simplifies the expression a fair bit. Now, you do have to be comfortable with radians, but it makes it a lot simpler here. Because normally what we would do is you would take that area of the circle here, and if we wanted to figure out what this that sector area is, okay, the area of the sector, what we would do here is we would figure out what fraction that is of the whole. So we would take theta, that central angle here, and we would divide by 360. That's going to get us this this ratio here, or this fraction of the circle, and then you'd multiply by the radius of the area of the circle, pi r squared. And that's awesome, and it's okay. However, if you use radians, okay, if theta is in radians, then what we have to do here is we have to divide by 2 pi to represent the angle around the whole circle here. And notice what happens when we do that. Okay, because there's a pi in the area of the circle, those pi's cancel, and we're left with 1/2 the angle in radians multiplied by the radius squared. Well, I love that. Okay, that looks awesome. So that's how we're going to go about finding the area of the sector. So now let's just take a quick look at an example here. Okay, so let's take a look at this example right here. And this is basically all we're going to do, because there's really not much difference between this and any of the other questions I can ask you, other than maybe forcing you to have to look a little harder to get the information that you need, like giving you the diameter instead of giving you the radius or the central angle here, because you need the central angle, giving it in degrees, or forcing you to use a little bit of trigonometry to get that angle. But regardless of kind of how we hide the information that you need, once you get that, this is pretty straightforward. So the area of the sector here, okay, is going to be 1/2 the angle in radians here. Now in this case here, the angle I'm given is 42 degrees. Now what I would typically do here is simply incorporate the conversion factor into my calculation here. So I would just put the pi over 180 into that. Just let it be part of my work. And then multiply by the radius, which in this case is 14 squared. Okay? And so now we pull out the calculator. It doesn't really matter what mode you're in, because there's no trig going on here per se. So this is going to be 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 42 multiplied by pi divided by 180 multiplied by 14 squared. And so 71.8. 71.8 meters squared, because those are the units that are being used there. Yeah, and that's how you would handle that. Now, another thing that you might do, if you're interested here, let's take a quick look at this. I am in degrees here. One of the things you could do is I'm going to put this calculator in radian mode, just to let you see this here. I'm going to do 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 42, but I'm going to convert this in, I'm going to let the calculator know that what I've given it here is in degrees. So I'm going to go to my angle menu, which is just above your apps button here. I'm going to let the calculator know that that's 42 degrees. And then I'm going to multiply that by 14 squared. Now, since the calculator is in radian mode, it will convert 14 degrees into radians and then multiply it through. And there you go. Okay, so that's just another thing that you can do. You got to be in radian mode for this to work. Then you just identify what angle is in degrees, and the calculator will do the conversion for you.